so very much. Thank you. I would also like to ask the producers, Paulo de Carvalho and Vote Kaunine, to join us on stage. Please welcome the producers. Together they made this courageous project. Please come and join us. I'm still also a little bit speechless. It's so powerful, the whole process, the process. In theory, we had said we would talk about the filmmaking. Yes, we will talk about the filmmaking for one moment, and then we will hear your questions and your impressions about the film. Obviously, there will be many comments. You worked on the project following the whole process. In the end, how much material did you have? How vast was it? How did your decisions come about? How did you read through it? What drove you in that way?
Well, we shot more or less 450 hours of material. That was a lot. I've never shot so much in my previous films, and the reason is that we really didn't know what was going to happen, so we had to film almost every day. It was a very long period of shooting, and it was a very long editing as well. I mean, I have to thank my editor, Karin Ackerman, who's gone through this huge process of editing with me, and it was a difficult editing, but as in my previous films, I chose a number of characters and I followed them, so in some way it's, the choices started being made as, at different phases we made choices, and it was very difficult to make a 2 hours and 15 minutes film out of this. Sorry that it's too long, but the first version was 4 hours, so I hope you could bear with us for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
And your choice to stay in this kind of Kammerspiel, that we're in the chambers all the time, how did that choice come about? Did you film outside a lot as well and then chose later, or you were always inside? How did that work?
Well, we did film outside as well, but I mean, my focus from the very beginning to a certain extent was the trial itself. I had made films within the, I did make a trilogy within the justice system. So I'm very much interested in the workings of the justice system and the theater of justice, in this case, the theater of justice and politics. And through that theater, try to reflect on what's happening in society outside. So it was very much clear that I wanted to stay in Brasilia, and in that Congress and what was happening around it. And of course it's the theme impeachment, and what's happening now in Brazil it's the subject matter for many films and many debates, and there are other films being made about the same subject matter from different angles. So I really focus on the process itself, more than on Dilma or on her perspective.
Thank you very much. This Kammerspiel aspect is very strong, makes it very powerful. Please, I would like to open. We have microphones. First question here at the front, in the front, in the middle are 2 questions. Please just wait for the microphone. Keep your hand up so that the microphone finds you. Right here, please. And then the gentleman beside.
Você levantou o braço antes de mim.
Okay. So first of all, congratulations. Wonderful film. It's very important that the world finds out what's happening in Brazil. People underestimate how serious the situation is. But anyway, to my question. You get behind the scenes with the people from the Workers' Party, with Lindbergh, with Glazy, and that's refreshing because you're getting their views, their relaxed moments when they're on their phone, when they're in their car, when they talk about self-criticism. That's all very good. You don't do the same with the crewmongers. You don't do the same with Aécio Cunha or any of that. Did you try that? Do you think they have anything to hide? Is there any reason why? Can you talk a little bit about how they engaged with you?
Everybody has everything to hide anymore, so that's not the point. It's of course I did try to get more access to the senators that were pro-impeachment, but that wasn't possible. I suppose that if I had the access, it would be interesting to have both sides, to have both intimacies. It would be, but I didn't. But nonetheless, I thought it was important to have the argument of the right. To tell them in a sort of understandable way why they were in favor of the impeachment, and why, and so that I could also deconstruct that narrative, because that was the narrative that was that we heard every day, that was just constantly being told us in the media it was a fraud, it was there was a crime. So I had to listen to the right and to that argument to be able to understand the counter argument. So that was, and of course I did approach different senators that were for the impeachment. Cássio Cunha Lima was one of the few ones that really wanted to talk to me and wanted to allow me to film him. So I did that. Janaína Pascoal also allowed it. So I think, no. It's important. It's really important that it's in my films. If you've seen my previous films, you understand that I'm not about sensationalizing anybody. I'm not. I try to treat them with a lot of anybody, either the conservative judge or the accused or whatever, with the same respect. And I try to do that with her too, so I think that that's important to say it. Although I disagree completely with her, it's not up to me to portray a black picture of her. It's just to
she does
show
it herself.
and to
Donate it.
whether she does that herself or not. But she's an important part in the whole impeachment process. So she needs to be looked at, and her arguments need to be taken seriously in that sense. So we can understand how we got there, and we got to where we are right now, and how they think. Yeah.
There's a question here in the front.
First of all,
It's working.
it's working. First of all, congratulations again. I would like to continue on the subject of women. It was much easier for Brazil, for the ones that made the coup, to attack Dilma because of sexism. It was much easier for them to attack her than it was, for example, attacking Lula. So I would like to ask, because maybe the foreign people in here doesn't know, but when we first knew about the movie, we knew that 3 female directors were filming, especially 3 female directors were the first ones to film. And it was very important for us because that declaration was a manifestation of us, of our people, because Dilma was not alone and our democracy was not alone and women were defending it. So I would like to know if that knowledge about it, of the characters in this movie and all of the people involved, made a difference in their process, how they reacted to the knowledge that this was being filmed, even though they knew the process and would be ending with a negative side, the history would not. That movies were being made and the future would allow to speak what they didn't before. So what was the reception and the response of it intimately?
Okay, you mean during the process of
Yeah.
filming, probably from the left. Right?
Yeah.
Because as you see Lazy Hoffman saying it, in some way we all sort of knew that they were going to lose because it was 15-5, 15 in favor of the impeachment, 5 against in the committee, so they were constantly losing the battle. But anyway, it's not a question of doing for my camera at all. I mean, they were constantly being filmed in those committees. And there is a TV Senate. Actually, I used some of its footage. So they're constantly, it was important for them to keep on making the point, making the arguments against the impeachment, although they knew they were going to lose. I think that's mine. And I thought that was very moving to see that, to see that they were, trying until the very end and fighting and appealing and making the whole fuss try to get their argument across and the counter narrative across. Did I answer your question?
There's a question right here, and then the gentleman here in front.
Hi, Maria. No matter the political position, if you are right or left, I believe we've seen here one of the most important Brazilian films ever done. Not only for political reasons, but for aesthetical reasons. I would like to go back to aesthetical and ask you to explain a little bit more your process of working with Karin Ackerman in the edition of those 400 hours of material, because that's absolutely impressive in cinematic terms. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. First of all, I went to film the impeachment like 8 days, 2 weeks before the vote at the House of Representatives, which now is the prologue of the film. And at that time, I really didn't think it was going to happen. Truly, nobody did, at least not people I knew. So I thought I was going to go to Brazil and stay for 2 weeks and film that, and then I would have a nice document so that people, and then go home. But that didn't happen because it passed, and I was there, and I thought that I had to stay, and I stayed. It was a very long process after that. But anyway, so when we went to edit, it became clear that the film to me was about the process, again, the trial, which takes place in the Senate. So the whole 2 weeks, the 150 hours of material, I just threw it away immediately because it was about the Senate. So we, very much in the beginning of the editing, it was clear that the prologue would be that vote, and we would have the title, and then we would have and there were other characters that I chose. I followed other senators, but slowly the film became more centered onto Glazy and Lindbergh and Vanessa and Janaína and the Cardoso, who is this absolutely brilliant lawyer. And so unfortunately people are just falling out. And also because, of course, the whole thing is to tell the story, tell what happened, and we couldn't tell everything, so by not, we had to make choices, and so let's, and just to finish that, for example, we decided to begin by looking at the meetings, the closed door meetings, in which they discussed how they would, their strategy and how they would, what they would say and which questions they would answer and stuff. And from then, go back to the committees. And so that's how we did. We edited all of most 80% of the meetings, the closed door meetings of the leadership. And then we went back to the committees that they were, that had something to do with the meetings. Okay, so to always draw the parallel between one and the other, and that was it. Yeah.